It worked, Tony.
Awesome.
And we're live. Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Drive Facebook Live show. I'm Bob Spitz. I'm here with Tony Whistler and our very special guest today, Deanna Cole from Cole's Corner or Cole's Service Center in Van Cleve, Mississippi. Hello, Deanna.
Hey, how are y'all?
Oh, just awesome.
Great.
You know, Dee, you and I have known each other a pretty long time, 20 plus years.
Yes.
And I've always admired what you and Wes have done and just the wonderful stories that we have shared over the years. And one of them is the fact that neither you or Wes really ever had a goal to own an auto shop, but yet there it was laying in your lap. Why don't you tell us all a little bit about your journey to shop ownership?
Oh boy. So yeah. In high school, I didn't have that. Gee, one day I want to own an automotive repair shop. Yeah. So my dad and his brothers bought the shop in 1973. I think I was 13. So he bought the shop and he bought the burger joint, which is Cole's Drive-In. So at the ripe age of 12, I was employed into the burger joint. I was the burger queen for many, many years. And yes, I do make good hamburgers. So, and of course, Wes and my brothers were, 9 and 8 and 7. And so they were brought into the shop to sweep and clean and just do little things like that. So Dad, the brothers were running it. And then the two brothers decided to go different directions and they left the business. So that left us. And so we just kind of never left. Wes never left. He actually got out of school. I think it was in his junior year. He came home and told Mom and Dad he was quitting school. He wasn't going back to school. And they were like, what? And he's a straight A student. I mean, he was the perfect child. I mean, no problems, whatever. But he just said, this is silly. He says, everything they learn, I can learn. Just give me the book, let me read it, and I know it. I don't need to go to school. So they made arrangements for him to not quit school and to get out every day and come to work at the shop at 12 o'clock. So, and he's never left. Literally, we've been there 50 and a half years, and Wes has been working there about 49 years, I guess. So, yeah, so he's been there forever. Everybody knows Wes. Everybody loves Wes. He's the good guy. I'm the mean one. No one wants to talk to me because they know I'm going to make them pay. They don't, and they try to, they pull around the back of the shop so they can catch Wes in the parking lot. Of course, so anyway, we've about got all that straightened out. Wes knows, he tells people, he says, I can't work on your car. You have to talk to Deanna because she'll fuss at me. So, but that was the early years. And what happened is, of course, Dad ran, we were kind of the employee types, doing our job and what have you. Dad got sick and passed away in 1997, asbestosis mesothelioma. So all of a sudden it was our shop, and we just did what Dad had always done. I remember when we came, and of course we found Drive. We've got the flyer in the mail with Rush Limbaugh's face on it, Mike Lee. Right. And read it, and just I remember hearing at the master speeches the other night, and we read it, and it's like they had a spy in the shop looking at what we were doing. Same thing. So I told Wes, we've got to go do this. So we did. That was in 1999, and we went to Pensacola, Florida. It was real close to us, and of course Mike Lee was there and Bob Spitz, and we just sat there elbows and elbows each other. And we're doing that. So all the information that they were saying, it was exactly what we needed. So we signed up. That's another story, but we signed up. And we went to California, and I remember we went to the workshop 1, 2, 3, 4. And so at the first workshop, initially go around the table and introduce yourself. And I'm Deanna West Cole from Bankley, Mississippi. Blah, blah. So all the other shops were talking about that and their labor rate. And so everyone at that time in 99, 65, 70, 75, 80, $85. There's a couple 90s, and we were like, oh my God. So Wes stood up and he said, well, my name's Eure-Cole, and this is my sister Deanna. We're from Van Cleve, Mississippi. And the first thing I need to do is go up on my labor rate because we're at 35.
Well, you went right from the burger joint into the shop, right?
When well, one of my brothers left, because I have three brothers. So the four of us were in it, and one of my brothers left, and that left the phone empty. So I kind of stepped in and took over the telephone. Didn't know the difference between a Chrysler and a Chevy. What do you mean rear drum brakes? What's that got to do with anything? V6. I mean, what, I thought they all, it's the same engine, right? So didn't know anything. And just jumped in and over the miles and years, yeah, I can hold my own now.
Very good.
I would say
Yeah.
you do. Because, I remember one of your challenges
Mhm.
was bringing the culture of the business
Mhm.
around,
Mhm.
changing the whole way you did business
Mhm.
from a very kind of almost a laid back approach to business to running a business. I remember you and I talking about that one day, and we were looking at your accounts receivable. I said, what are you doing with all these accounts receivable? Who are these people?
That's how Daddy always did it. So, oh yeah, we had shoot, I could have gone to Harvard for what we threw away in $5 gas tickets. I mean, just I'll pay you Friday, Kenneth. They just wouldn't mention what Friday it was going to be. So,
Still
yeah.
waiting. Still waiting. Maybe this Friday. Oh, today.
Oh, look, I finally had to get them away from me. I can't worry about this anymore. It's over and done and gone. So, but yeah, we had a real kind of a lackadaisical, situation. And what happened is in 98, Hurricane George hit the Gulf Coast, and we had 7.5 feet of water in our shop.
Yeah, I remember the picture of Wes diving down there. And
So that was before we met Drive, that you were 99. So in 97, 98, so we decided to go ahead and we either got to close or do something in the shop. So we did. We built a new shop. So we were building a new shop. Then we found Drive. And then we realized we should have waited, but it was too late now. So, and then all of a sudden we had bills. We had not had bills. So we could show up at the shop and, pitch washers or, just we didn't care if we worked or not, whatever we did. It just, it was a matter, the bills were paid, the lights were paid. There was no other bills. So all of a sudden we had all these bills. And if we had not met Drive and we had not done that, we would not be having this conversation today, because we would have
nothing like income demand to get you motivated.
Absolutely.
Well, see, and the thing, and one of the early explanations for me about Drive, because the initial expense was like, oh my God, another bill. But one of the early things that someone said to me was, when you get Drive and you deal with Drive, it's like having a 24/7 employee without all the problems. You have someone you can call for marketing, for shop management, shop flow, just anything that you need. And I found that to be very, very true. So the value of Drive, there's no our life is proof. It's
That's great.
We would have no value if it hadn't been for you.
Do you still have the burger joint?
I don't. I closed it down in 08. And everybody still comes by and wants, burgers and stuff. So I said, if I ever open it back up, I'm going to open it up on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you don't get a burger on that day, you just have to wait till
You just don't.
You don't get one.
So yeah, but I did get to cook burgers at the football games. My nieces were in the band and they had the concession stand. So I said, oh, I want to fry burgers.
Work the concession stand at the football game.
So I got to do that a couple of years.
That's awesome.
Is the building still there, the burger joint?
No, the burger joint is the parking lot now. Yeah, we had done some musical buildings. I had built the one shop. I moved the burger joint into the old, it logistical machinations that occurred. And it was all good. But even at that point, it was getting to the place where hard to get good help back then. Small community and all that stuff. And I could see that the shop is where that was taken off, and I could see what was down the pipe, and I just had to focus on one thing. I couldn't do both well, and I didn't have what I needed to keep the other one going. So you can't do food from a distance.
No, I'm sure that's true.
No.
I'm sure that's true.
So how many employees do you have right now?
One, two, I have 2 techs. I have a bookkeeper, I have a QC guy, have Wes, who's the shop manager type. And then I have a service advisor. Her husband's having some health issues right now, but she's been with me for almost a year now. Like me, didn't know Chevy from a Chrysler. So there's some training and things that have to happen, but we've got a plan in place. I've got a training thing in place, and we measure it off each week. There's things she needs to know. By the end of 5 weeks, you need to be able to do this. And she knows that. So there's no surprise. This week you're going to do so-and-so. She's got it all written out, so she can advance at her own pace. And I've been very, very pleased.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very good.
You know, Dee, you mentioned one of the powers of having drive in your corners. You have someone there, and it's like having an employee without any employee problems. And that's true. You know, a wonderful thing about being a coach or a consultant is you can impassionately look at a business because you're not caught up in the passion or the emotions of the business, and help shop owners see it. But the other side of that coin is workshop training.
Mm-hmm.
How did the workshop training help you?
Oh, unbelievable. And of course, right now a lot of them are Zoom. They're in-person ones are still doing. We had done all of it in person, and the opportunity to sit in the room with 10, 15, 20, 30 other shops and go through the training together, and to be able to hear each other's stories. This is what's going on in my shop. This is how I fixed it. This is what's going on in my area. This is how we handled it. This is a marketing thing that worked for me. And it was so simple. I couldn't believe it. So just the networking, I don't even know what the word is. The networking is the heart and soul of Drive. It puts you in touch with so many positive, productive, upbeat people that want to help. They want to share. They want us all to succeed, because, and I said this the other night when I was at our expo, the number one thing that Drive brought to our lives when we found them in 1999, 2000 was the value of what we do, because we didn't have a clue. We didn't want to be automotive repair people. We were just, that's what we were supposed to do. But when we started looking at what the value of what our craft is in this country and in our community, and some people don't realize that they don't want to charge appropriately because they feel like, and I'm no, you are very valuable. So that was one of the big things. But the networking in the classes, just phenomenal.
Yeah. What about, because one of the other things I know that I believe was a fairly big change for Coles was getting together a comprehensive marketing strategy, and how you do that in a small town. Yes.
And it was, at first it was very daunting, might be the word. But I love communications. I love to communicate. I love to discuss and talk. And as I started doing it, I realized that's all marketing is getting your message out in your language, your shop culture's language, your community's cultural language. What, we're in down south, so we're going to be a little more, friendly or whatever, and different parts of the country are more professional, more, it depends on what automotive line that you're working on. So and it just became fun. And so now marketing is, it's like, who can't do marketing? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but it is very intimidating, because you could spend a lot of money and lose a lot of money on something that doesn't work. And that's one of the things Drive just took us by the hand and showed us the way. And we did the work, but you were there to able to advise us, well, we've seen this work, we've seen that work, and have you thought about this? So at the end of the day, we did it. It was our success, but it was our success because someone showed us the way that we were not aware of. And that's what drive does. I always compare it to Dorothy's red slippers and the Wizard of Oz. You know, she had the information, she had the knowledge, she had the ability the whole time. She just didn't know how to use it. Somebody had to tell her to click her heels 3 times. And then it
Right.
happened. So
Yeah.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah. You know, in another overhaul, I'll call it an overhaul, and it's true for many shops, is getting the finances really organized and under control. So you're not guessing, where the heck am I? Or, you know, the 11 o'clock surprise by an accountant saying, hey, you had a great year, you owe money.
oh, and the whole, I can't afford anyone to do payroll for me. I can't afford a CPA. You can't afford not to. You cannot afford not to have someone handling your finances. And it's scary. It is scary because you're turning it over. But I mean, you pay attention. You're already paying attention. Just continue to pay attention. But yeah, you have to. And having reserve accounts. Wes and I were looking at it the other day, and I said, "Did you ever think? Did you ever think we'd ever, have money to set aside to do what we need to do? And if we need something now, we figure out what we need, how much it's going to be, do our due diligence, and then we go get it, and it's done. And before it was, okay, well, we'll see if we can save enough money next year to think about that, at the end of the year." So just giving you the information. The classes, just can't say enough about the classes, because it gives you all the dime theory, the 10 dimes. The first time I heard that, I went, well, duh. And then we went home and looked at ours. I was like, oh my God, we got dimes.
So do you have within your training program for your staff, do you have workshops for Drive like built into that training program? And how many of your employees have actually done Drive workshops?
I do, especially for my service advisor. My technician, not so much. I've got training things for him more toward what they do. But my QC guy, my service advisor, my bookkeeper, my shop manager, and there's some fabulous shop manager programs out there. But yes, I have that in their training, because I can sit there and tell them all day long, but you get used to somebody's voice and you just don't quite hear it. But when someone else tells you the same thing, all of a sudden it's just more real for some reason. It's like teenagers. But yeah, so we make sure, and the action workshops, which is kind of a new thing, that's only been in the last
couple of years.
Yeah. And I saw those. I wanted to sign up for all of them, and I thought, well,
feel free. Feel free.
Yeah. I've done many of them, and I've done many of them, twice or whatever, because again, the thing I enjoy about it is when you're in the action class, there's another shop owner or service advisor or someone who is on the path that I was on, with the confusions and the questions and the fears and the concerns. And so if I can be in that class with them, and when I said, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's exactly what we went through. So again, that's the drive. That's part of the drive culture, is just wanting to help other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things, and I want to shift gears a little bit here and start talking about the certification levels. And the first one I want to talk about is masters. And you and I have talked about this. We first created the master's program because we were finding shop owners were hitting a certain level of success, and then they would either take their foot off the gas pedal, or they would stop paying attention, or as Mike liked to say, you're just bored, right? And to help keep them focused on what's really important and give them a game to play. And I don't remember who first put the idea of, hey, Dee, why don't you go for masters into your ear? Who put that bug in your ear? But you went for it, didn't you?
It I had heard about the masters for, and I mentioned this in one of my speeches. I said, I heard about masters for years and years, and I thought, well, that's for the cool kids. That's for the big shops that have 10 employees or 10 techs, and that's for them. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm a small shop in South Mississippi, so it just can't possibly apply. So I didn't really put a lot of attention on it. And then one day I got a magazine that had what a master, what the layout for what the master is. And I was looking at it, I was like, I'm a master. I'm already a master. And I thought, so I called and I said, what is all this? And so, and it's not simple. There's work involved, and you have to confront a lot of things about your shop that you just kept kind of, going by, you just blow by. Well, I'll worry about that next year. So when you set your sights on master and you decide you're going to go for it, there's some work to be done, and it's a process. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of things that you have to confront about your shop, yourself, your processes, and you have to look at them and go, am I doing this, or I'm just pretending like I'm doing this? So so I saw that, and I contacted, I said, hey, I think I want to do this, and it was fabulous, and the support was 100%. So we went through the master, and of course the next level is master elite. And
well, it was the same thing. We were having fellows and gals hitting masters and then taking their foot off the gas pedal.
Because you achieve a goal, you just, and this is the thing small shops need to be aware of. You set a goal, you achieve it, and you got that high. You're like, oh man, I've done this. I'm successful, and all this kind of stuff's happened, and it's fabulous. But if you don't have another goal in place to work towards, you are going to slide right back into old habits and things. So whether it's a master program, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You've got to have some goals in place. And for me, it was the Master Elite, because when I finished the master, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful, it was just a wonderful feeling, and the camaraderie at the Drive Expo of the other people who were already masters, the people who were looking at master, just the shop owners didn't have a clue what masters was. The camaraderie was fabulous. So when I saw the Master Elite was the next step, and I thought, well, why stop now? Because one of the big things for master is the shop walkthrough.
Yes,
Someone
sir.
comes to your shop and they walk through it. They give, as you said earlier, an objective view on what your shop actually does look like, some of your processes. It's a fabulous, we should have done it 15 years ago. So, but we got that done. And so when you do the Master Elite, you go back through that one more time and find all the little things that you did, and then you kind of let them slip. So it just really tightens up. It tightens up the control on everything that you succeeded with, and it gets you to succeed even more. When we put our eye on the master program every year from 2016, when we put our eye on the master program, we have beat our sales record every single year. And so that's 7 years in a row, and we're on track to do it again this year.
That's great.
Helps keep you focused. And then once again, we had Master Elite, and we said, well, wait a minute. Can they do it again?
And we did.
And you became a sustained master. Very, very well done. Congratulations.
And I really didn't think that one all the way through. I said, well, I'm here and it's there, and I enjoyed the process. It's an enjoyable process. It's work, but I enjoyed it. I mean, what more could you ask for? Your business is prospering, your life is good. You just, all the opportunities that open up for you. So the sustained Master Elite was there, and I said, well, let's see if we can do it again. And that was my thought. And we went through it, and look, and it just because you're master, master elite, master sustain doesn't mean life doesn't happen. Things do. Yeah,
But now you have confidence in handling it.
at 100%.
And
And
if not,
Right.
Carla's just a phone call away.
oh, my Carla. We had, and just for anybody who doesn't know Carla out there, because I introduced a couple of people, said that's Carla. You know, because she was an icon for us. That she was with the top 20 in the master program and everything. So again, back before was, oh, that's Carla. We'll never get her. You know, and so now she's our consultant, and just couldn't ask for more. The entire drive crew, everybody, Tony has been fabulous. You know, Dave,
Thank you.
all of them, the people that help with the other programs, the instructors and consultants, Larry Monroe, you know, Chris Scully, I just go on and on, you know, with everybody. You get the same treatment from every single one of them. There's not 2 or 3 that, you know, that have they all are on the same program, and that is to help us. And it's, you know, how often do you find that in this, you know, in this day and time? How
Yeah,
often do you find
sadly, it's rare.
a
Yep.
huge group of people who are dedicated to helping you do something good so that you can help other people.
Well,
Well, thank you
and
so
I
much for
think,
that.
yeah, and that's the
Absolutely.
feeling, because you are a top 20 member too, a member of our top 20 group. And
Ooh.
that's very much helping each other.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I, you know, and that's my invitation only. So you don't just, you know, wander into a top 20 meeting. You have to, you know, you have to have certain things that you do and do regularly and do well. And that's a fabulous group. And
I
that's
have
your
a quick question for you. For people who don't know what the top 20 is, can you just tell us a little bit about that experience, so the people that have never been involved with it know what it's about?
So top 20, there is a monthly amount of sales that you have to have. You have to have a shop manager on staff. You have to meet. We meet every week at whatever the time is for your particular group. We meet every week, and each week we have our stats, which is, you know, one of the very first things that drives puts you in touch with is your stats. And your stats is, what is your gross sales for the week? What is your average RO for the week? How many tickets did you do for the week? What is your billed hours for the week? What is your gross profit for the week? So these things that, and again, this is confronting stuff, because you're like, well, I think we did pretty good this week. No. Did you do good or did you not? Look at your stats. And so top 20 meets every week, and we all put our stats out in each other's face, and we look over them, and we have a weekly plan of what I'm going to do. Well, this week I'm going to get the, you know, the air compressor fixed, or, you know, or this week I'm going to, you know, I've got a marketing piece I want to put out, or I'm going to, you know, put out an ad to hire a new technician. So whatever your weekly plan is, and then whatever your long range plan is, and we put these out to each other in our group, and we look at them every week. And we help each other. I see you're doing this, and look, this worked for me. This is something that happened in my shop, and it went very, very well. So if you want to try that, let me send you that phone number. This is a new piece of equipment that we bought that you know, we've tried the other ones, and this one's worked better for us than anything else. So we're sharing each week with a group of our peers that are productive, and they're hitting benchmarks that we're hitting. So everybody's serious about it. And we want our shops to be better. The energy is just, you know, it's just fabulous to be with people like that.
Like-minded people.
Mhm.
Well, we're
Thank
coming
you.
up towards our closing time. It's hard to believe. Half hour goes by so quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dee, is there any parting words you'd like to share with the viewers?
Well, they asked me at the expo, and I was talking about it. And one thing that I didn't, at one point I did not make, when we had the expo and we had our master, we had our professional shop masters, we had our efficient shop masters, we had our master elite, and the other one. And what I told the people in the crowd that are not in the program, I said, let me explain something to you. These people are showing you a path that works, and you have heard their stories. You've heard what they said. They are saying the same thing you did. They are showing you the path. The master program is a path. You may be able to do it all by yourself, and my hat's off to you. If you can, God love you, that's fabulous. But these people are showing you a path that will take you to success. It will take you, your shop, your crew, your community. It will bring everything together, and just everything's going to be so much better. And you're going to just be so much, I don't want to say happier, but you're just going to be in a much better place. So the master program, if you don't know about it, please don't be intimidated. Please don't look at it as something that, oh, that'll never apply to me. That's what I did. And that was a mistake. That was my mistake. I didn't realize.
Fantastic. Well, on that point, I just want to mention next week is all about owners and managers. Please tune in next Friday. And Dee, thank you so much for your time, and very well done on achieving sustained master. And say hi to Wes. And by the way, Toby says hi.
Beautiful. Well, kiss
Good
Toby.
to see you again.
And Tony, just great to see you. I'm always looking for your music on Spotify.
There you go.
Musician, everybody. Y'all go look him up. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you, Dee.
Bye.
Bye-bye.